everyone. If you can start taking your seats, the program will begin in just a minute. So go ahead, start wrapping everything up, take your seats, and we'll start in just a minute. I was like, I used my Boy Scout thing, and I was like, there's no sun, there's nothing out there. All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome. Oh, you mean my voice isn't enough? I have to turn the microphone on? All right, everyone, we're going to get started in about a minute. It sounds like we have a really shy crowd. So to get your attention, I spent a lot of times in schools this week, so we're going to try this. All right, Pueblo, you can do better than that. Let's do it one more time. Love it. I recently spent a lot of time in elementary schools this week. Found out pretty quickly that I'm really happy that is not the life path for me. And I'm really happy that there are people in this world who that is their life path, because that is a lot of work. And I just stole one of their moves, so thank you. People like Shelby Robinson over there, who I love. All right, everybody. Welcome to the 22nd edition of the Booklovers Ball, the Pueblo Library Foundation's signature fundraiser, and a favorite night for readers, music lovers, and friends of our beloved Pueblo libraries. My name is Nick Potter, and I'm the Executive Director of the Library Foundation and Strategic Initiatives, and I will serve as your MC for this evening. We hope that tonight's atmosphere carries you into a world of our featured book for All Pueblo Reads 2025, The Violin Conspiracy by Mr. Brendan Slocum. Woo! Expect a night that puts music and storytelling at center stage, with touches that nod to the novel's beautifully written story and its vibrant themes. I want to welcome Mr. Brendan Slocum to Pueblo, Colorado. I think in like 48 hours time, he's already a citizen. We got him his library card. He is here as a full Pueblo resident, just so you know. The Violin Conspiracy is an electrifying story about a young Black violinist who must fight to claim his talents and his future after his instrument goes missing, and he is later accused of stealing this priceless instrument. It's a novel about music, identity, family, and justice, themes that have sparked conversation across our community this year as part of the All Pueblo Reads program. All Pueblo Reads has now reached its 22nd year. For over 2 decades, this program has brought authors across the country to Pueblo, Colorado. This program brings world-class authors to our community, inviting thousands of residents to share in conversation around books and topics that matter. We launched All Public Reads 22 years ago with a simple idea: pick one book for a community to read, discuss the themes within the chosen book, and learn from it together. That idea has blossomed into a rich tradition that brings world-class writers into conversation with residents of our community. Recent featured authors have included storytellers across styles, viewpoints, and genres. Each year, All Public Reads aims to build connection, foster understanding and empathy, and inspire lifelong reading in our community. Thank you all for being a part of this shared reading tradition and for helping us to make The Violin Conspiracy the work that brought us together in 2025. Thank you. So before dinner, please find at your table a slip that's titled, "Do you have a question for Brendan Slocum?" If you'd like your question asked during our Q&A session, write it, and this is important, legibly, so we can read it, and then leave it in the back basket at the front entrance, at the back entrance between the two doors. We will pull those midway between Brendan's presentation, and we'll start organizing those for our Q&A session. All right, so we're going to pivot to the meal. We have a delicious meal ready for you to enjoy this evening. We will resume the program once all of our guests' meals have been plated. Our catering staff will be around very shortly to bring everyone's meals to their place setting. So for those of you in the room this evening, sit back, enjoy your food, check your silent auction items, and continue the conversation around the violin conspiracy. And then for those of you that are our virtual audience, we will take a short 15-minute break for dinner. We will return with the rest of the program momentarily. Thank you, and I will see you all in just a minute. Yeah. No, you're good. Yeah. So I'll probably start with 3 minutes. It makes me feel like I should. No, you're good. All right, everyone, welcome back. Can I get a huge round of applause for the Pocket Philharmonic and their music this evening? All right, I hope that the meal was as good as it looks and that it smells from here. If you haven't had your meal plated yet, staff is coming around to be able to plate your meal so that you can eat. All right. So as we have our meals in front of us, I really want to give just a ton of credit to Jerry Carter, wherever he is, maybe in the kitchen, you can raise his hand, as well as Jackie Carter. She's amazing. I want to give a ton of credit to their team at Elior. Each year, we call them with an idea about our theme. And, you know, our themes range from things like octopus to India to The Help. So if you read that book, luckily, that was not the dessert we did for you all. So they get a lot of interesting calls from me saying, hey, we're going to do this book about this thing, and I want the food to somewhat reflect this. So each year, I call them wanting to incorporate the meal in some way into the theme. And so this year, your beautiful pink rose that you have as a tartlet in front of you is reflective of that. So I want to give them just a huge round of applause. Thank them for always entertaining my crazy ideas. So tonight is about celebrating literacy and the joys of storytelling. Over the last month, the Pueblo City County Library District has hosted dozens of programs inspired by the violin conspiracy. School visits, book clubs, community conversations, and events that put music and perseverance in the spotlight. This year, we kicked off All Pueblo Reads with a concert featuring music from Black composers and amazing musicians from the Pocket Philharmonic. I also want to take time to thank Neil Figueroa. Neil, will you raise your hand? So he also got a crazy call from me that said, we have this book, I want to do this type of music, and he put together an entire concert for that. So can we give him a huge round of applause? And thank you so much for bringing your amazing talent here this evening, Neil. So just the day after we did the Pocket Philharmonic for All Pueblo Reads, we then welcomed hundreds of attendees to the All Pueblo Reads kickoff. This kickoff was complete with musical crafts, a book giveaway, and concerts by PCCLD's very own ukulele choir. So if you didn't know that was a thing, it is a thing. If you love to play the ukulele or if you like to sing, we would love to have you as part of it. They were the opener for the Pueblo Municipal Band. We played music in about, I don't know, from 30 mile an hour to 130 mile an hour wind, and they were incredible and endured. And since 2019, we have built on our traditions of All Pueblo Reads. So this year, we were again able to feature a youth companion to the main All Pueblo Reads book. This year, we were able to expand upon our normal activities around our youth companion book, visiting schools with our youth author and illustrator, Jack Wong. This is the first time we've ever been able to feature an illustrator, and it was a really cool experience. Our 2025 Youth Companion All Pueblo Reads book was The Music Inside Us by James Howe and illustrated by Jack Wong. The Music Inside Us is a children's book that is a beautiful biography of the famed cellist Yo-Yo Ma. We were able to bring the illustrator of this beautiful book, Jack Wong, all the way from Nova Scotia to Pueblo to talk about this book. And if you really want to appreciate Pueblo, if you bring somebody from Nova Scotia, like Anne of Green Gables territory, to Liberty Points, I'm just standing there being like, yeah, cool, it's Liberty Point. Like, it's the reservoir, and like, you can see everything. And this man was in awe of our town, and it was so cool to see. While in Pueblo, this author went on a whirlwind tour, visiting 6 schools in just 3 days, or visiting 6 classrooms in just 3 days in schools, speaking to nearly 2,200 students. In the audience tonight are representatives from District 60, and I really want to thank them, especially their amazing literacy champion, Dr. Kinsey. Thank you all. Thank you, Dalton and Dr. Kinsey, so much for your support and your help in coordinating all of these school visits. Our author brought his illustrations to life. He was able to speak to these students about being a professional illustrator and how he wrote and illustrated several other books. He brought with him the message that we all have music inside of us, whether that's an actual instrumental music or whether it's writing, drawing, dancing, singing, or just being our authentic selves. It was a very rewarding and impactful experience to see how literature engaged thousands of elementary age students. All Pueblo Reads brought our community together around the violin conspiracy and sparked conversations that rippled throughout the library districts. Beyond our author visits, we delivered more than 100 programs that invited people of every age to explore the book's themes. Programs such as The Story of the Stradivarius of the West, lyric collage workshops, a preschool electronic dance story time. So if you heard that right, we did a baby rave basically, and it was everything that you think and hoped it would be. We also had performances from the Pueblo Children's Chorale with students from North Mesa and Prairie Winds Elementary School. All right, pause 1 second. You didn't see this.
Oh, yeah.
All right, nothing happens. Nothing happens. So after we had our great concerts from North Mesa and Prairie Winds, we also held an escape room at the library called The Case of the Missing Violin. We did yoga that was set to classical music, and we had tons of other hands-on activities that supplemented this book. We also purchased and distributed hundreds of copies of both the main book and the Youth Companion edition, along with teacher and book club resource guides. We incorporated all Pueblo Reads materials directly into classrooms across Pueblo County. These All Pueblo Reads efforts sit inside of a much larger pattern of impact for the library district. Every year, our libraries check out roughly 1 million items. We host thousands of events and programs, and we welcome hundreds of thousands of visitors through our doors every year. That scale allows us to meet people where they are, supporting early literacy, preserving access to cultural experiences, expanding cultural and educational opportunities, and creating safe, welcoming spaces for conversation and connection to happen throughout our community. Delivering high-quality, responsive programming and ensuring that books and resources reach communities, classrooms, individuals, and families requires ongoing investment. Staff time, new materials, facility care, and program support. If all of these things resonate with you and if this work matters to you, I hope that you consider joining us as a partner in sustaining and growing these opportunities with a gift today. Attending the Booklovers Ball is one way to support the Pueblo Library. Your support directly fuels programs like All Pueblo Reads and helps the Pueblo City County Library District remain a place where every story and every reader can be heard. As we continue to grow and sustain library services, we need your support. Tonight's Booklovers Ball raises funds for programs, materials, and capital projects that are completed throughout the library district. We have several methods to support PCCLD, and we hope that you will consider a donation through one of them. The first method that I'd like to point out to you all is the ability to give via text message. The instructions are on the screen above you all and at your tabletop in your program. To donate via this method, simply text the word violin. We really went back and forth, but I'm going to give you a lot of the benefit of the doubt that everybody knows how to spell violin. V-I-O. Can you guys finish it for me? Oh, you're so good. V-I-O-L-I-N. So text that to 50155. Every contribution matters, and we thank you for supporting the Pueblo City County Library District. In addition to the text to give option, you may have seen the beautiful silent auction items as you entered into the Riles Grand Event Space. Many of you have already explored the silent auction, downloaded the Givey app to bid, and you've bid on things like local experiences, getaway packages, and curated bundles that make great gifts while supporting our work in the Pueblo community. The silent auction closes 10 minutes after the program concludes, so check on your silent auction items and be sure to get your winning bids in. Remember that all of your proceeds tonight support library services across Pueblo. The next thing I would like to do is to thank the generous sponsors who underwrite the Booklovers Ball and make tonight possible. This group of steadfast donors support Pueblo libraries in such a meaningful way. Their support makes tonight and so much of what the library does possible. Many of these donors support the Pueblo Library's summer reading program, our capital projects that we have, and we have had many, and individual library projects. It is my pleasure now to thank and acknowledge these sponsors, starting off with our donors for the Booklovers Ball at the Diamond level. A huge thank you to our Diamond sponsors, friends of the Pueblo Library and the Books Again bookstore, huge supporters. And I'd like to acknowledge that we have 2 tables for our friends and a full table, a little bit plus, for our volunteers. And Black Hills Energy, a great longtime supporter of Pueblo City County Library District. Thank you. At the platinum level are 3 amazing supporters of the Booklovers Ball and many projects throughout the library districts. Those individuals include Colorado State University Pueblo, Minnequa Works Credit Union, and HW Houston Construction. Thank you. And donors at the gold level. I'd like to continue acknowledging supporters and advocates of the Pueblo Library. So thank you so much to All Phase Environmental Consultants, Bank of the San Juans, the City of Pueblo, Pueblo Community College, Pueblo Community College Foundation, and the Ken and Gayla White Family Foundation. We are so fortunate to have your support. Thank you. And donors at the silver level include Bechtel Pueblo Team, Benefits Broker, Collins, Cole, Wynn, Ulmer, Attorneys at Law, Int Credit Union, Fieldman Financial Services, LLC, Goal High School, Pueblo Community College, or I'm sorry, Pueblo Community Health Center, and Stiefel. Thank you. And donors at the bronze level include Adams Electric, IBEW Local 12, InBank, Pueblo Kiwanis Foundation, Pueblo Toyota, Royal Electric, Southern Colorado Clinic Pediatrics, and SunWest Credit Union. Thank you. We are so lucky to have friends, advocates, and supporters like you all. Thank you to our sponsors for your steadfast support of the Pueblo Library Foundation. Your partnership strengthens the All Pueblo Reads program and provides visible support for our libraries and our community. We are so fortunate to have so many in our community support and advocate for the Pueblo Library District. And I say this in a lot of our events. We have a lot of conversation happening in this room, and I really don't mind it as the MC for this event. It's like a family getting together. Everybody comes together. We always say it's like a very eclectic group of everyone here, but that's our community. And so I love our advocacy. I love our community support. And I really want to say thank you all from the bottom of my heart for being here tonight. Yes. Thank you. So support can come in many forms. And now I am pleased to recognize the board members who volunteer, advocate, and lead on behalf of our libraries. The first group I would like to recognize, and I'm going to ask that you stand up, is our group, our board of trustees for the Pueblo City County Library District. Please stand so that you can be recognized. And next, if you are a member of the Pueblo Library Foundation Board of Directors, can you also please stand to be recognized? And now, our friends of the Pueblo Library Board of Directors, will you also stand so that we can recognize you? And lastly, but not by any means least, and they didn't know that I was going to pick on them, at least our board members, they have heads up, but I would really like to recognize anybody who volunteers for the Pueblo Library or for the Books Again bookstore. Can you please stand to be recognized? As you can see, our volunteers and our board members are essential to the library's success. Please join me one more time in thanking our board members and our volunteers for their dedication and their service. As mentioned earlier, this year's All Pueblo Reads programming included author visits and school visits that introduced students to themes from the violin conspiracy. Music as identity, the history of stringed instruments, and the importance of community support for young artists. Our partnerships with local schools brought author talks, activities that enhanced the chosen book, and performances into classrooms, media centers, auditoriums, gyms across Pueblo County. I want to share one more highlight from this year's All Pueblo Reads. Yesterday, I had the privilege of traveling with Brendan as he visited the students of Central and County high schools. Hundreds of students were able to meet this best-selling author, talk to him about being a professional writer, and hear his words of inspiration. When I was hired on, I was told All Pueblo Reads is a way for the library to make authors feel like rock stars. And that's our goal. And Brendan's looking at me going, you're making too big of a fuss of me. I don't want to be this guy. But today, you're Taylor Swift, Brendan. This is the first time that we've been able to take our All Pueblo Reads author into our high schools. Children left these talks with autographed books in their hands, encouraging words from a famous author, and encouragement that hopefully leads them to achieving their own dreams, whatever those may be. Their classrooms held space for the book and the topics within them. Their teachers were given books and tools to facilitate these conversations. And these students were given books to add to, or in some cases, start their very own home libraries. This, folks, is what All Pueblo Reads is all about. The work that we do is impactful, meaningful, and life-changing. I'm pleased to introduce our next speaker to talk about that more fully. Leading the charge to ensure that access to information is a human right is PCCLD's Executive Director, Sherry Baca. Sherry recently celebrated her 3-year anniversary as Executive Director of PCCLD, and in these uncertain times, it is great to have such a steadfast leader able to keep our library services steady and cutting edge. Two things that are not always easy to complete together and accomplish together. It is my pleasure to introduce the Executive Director of the Pueblo City County Library District, Mrs. Sherry Baca.
I'm a little hoarse from hugging and saying hello, so please bear with me. Thank you so much for being here. Good evening and welcome to the Robert Hogue Rawlings Public Library and tonight's Booklovers Ball. It is a joy to stand here with friends, partners, and neighbors who believe in the power of stories and learning in shared public spaces. Mr. Brendan Slocum, thank you so much for being here with us tonight to celebrate this huge success of All Pueblo Reads. You join a wonderful group of amazing people who have graced us with your presence. Thank you so much for being here, and welcome to Pueblo anytime. Over the past 5 years, the Pueblo City County Library District has transformed service, space, and reach in many ways that directly improve everyday life across our community. We completed three renovations and expansion projects that together reimagine what a public library can be. The Robert Hogue Rawlings Library now welcomes more people downtown with expanded public spaces and updated technology and flexible meeting areas for performances that host civic conversations and cultural events. The Barkman Library, who's here for the Barkman Library? Is that your public library? It reopened as a modern neighborhood hub with adaptable program rooms, refreshed interiors, and technology that supports early learning, workforce readiness, and community gatherings. The Patrick A. Lucero Library on the east side has been refreshed. I see some East Siders over there. Has been refreshed as a resilient, multi-generational center for learning and connection. And while construction proceeded, I want to recognize that we partnered with the City of Pueblo and El Centro del Quinto Sol Community Center to ensure that East Side residents always had access to books, programming, and a safe public space. We sincerely thank Mayor Graham. She has to wave. Mayor Graham, thank you, Mayor Graham, for your partnership and the City of Pueblo and your valuable just offering of that space to us for the year that we were closed. We also want to thank our library staff. So many of them are here tonight. We poured our lives into these projects. H.W. Houston Construction, he did all of the amazing jobs. Steve is here. He ran all of our jobs for us. Lewis designed so much and put a whole lot of effort into those projects. And of course, all of our supporters and donors. I think you all know that you're so much valued by us and everything that we do. Thank you for your valuable contributions to these projects. We could not have been successful without you. In the past 5 years, since the health pandemic happened to us, the public library has reinvented itself and kept children and families connected to literacy and learning. We launched a device library and expanded our digital services to close gaps in digital access, allowing job seekers to apply for work, giving students the ability to complete assignments, and offering residents access to telehealth and online learning. In 2019, Pueblo County voters approved ballot initiative 6B to preserve funding for high-quality public library services. That decisive vote created the fiscal stability necessary to plan, innovate, and deliver impact. Since 6B passed, PCCLD has used that foundation to achieve immeasurable outcomes that matter to Pueblo residents. The key achievements since 6B passed include the completion of 3 major renovations and expansions, so Rawlings Library, Barkman Library, Lucero Library, and we did all of that in 5 years to modernize facilities and expand access. We maintained steady operations and service continuity across neighborhoods during construction, and we transitioned well by partnering with schools, nonprofits, and local organizations. We recommitted to purchasing more printed books. Where's my book lovers in the room? Printed books. If that's what you want, we're doing more of that. We're also buying library materials in all formats. We launched and grew our digital services and our device library and hotspot lending to substantially reduce barriers to the internet access in our community. Today, we spend more than 60% of our budget on library materials. 60% is spent on digital access, which is driven by library card holders, many of you in this room, I'm sure, who are checking out ebooks, e-audiobooks, streaming, and other digital content. We continue to focus on library programs and community engagement with signature offerings like this one, All Pueblo Reads, and also our youth summer program, our reading program, that bring continued learning, new ideas, and civic conversations to thousands of people. We advanced capital planning and the building community together. Nick raised a lot of funds from many people who love the library. That campaign leveraged local tax stability with philanthropic and grant funding for long-term facility improvements. We protected intellectual freedom through public advocacy, policy clarity, and community engagement that affirm that libraries are places of free inquiry and freedom to read without restriction. Yes. These outcomes are the product of voter trust, discipline, stewardship, and operational excellence. Voters invested and we delivered. Yesterday evening was a monumental thing. PCCLD's Board of Trustees adopted our 2026 to 2030 strategic plan, our 5-year plan. This plan we entitled Future Ready Together. This sets a roadmap for the next 5 years for the library district for impact in our community. This plan turns community voice and rigorous data into clear directives and a set of strategic priorities that will guide us every minute forward into the next 5 years. A few key elements of that plan that you will see reflected in our work, so this is what we're going to do coming up, include digital learning and innovation. We will move people from access to agency by expanding digital literacy, hands-on innovation programming, and ethical emerging technology access, also known as AI, and education. Libraries without walls, we will expand mobile and outreach services, bookmobiles, pop-up branches, home delivery, so that every person who's interested in library materials, and we meet them where they are. Future-ready facilities and experiences, we will pilot modular program zones, improve accessibility and wayfinding, and we look to continue phased facility upgrades. So where's Houston? So we have another 4 projects to get started on. So we look forward to all of that. Yay. Data-driven community engagement. We will centralize patron insights and use targeted communications and evaluation to ensure our reach is intentional and equitable. So we're definitely data wonks. And last but not least, financial and adaptive planning. We will align our budgeting and capital schedules with long-term stewardship to maintain fiscal sustainability and program continuity. This plan is live and actionable. We will translate these priorities into annual goals, transparently measure progress, and report back to the community each quarter so that Puebloans can see the return on their trust and their investment. Our progress belongs to many people, and I am deeply grateful to our library staff for their care and ingenuity, to our trustees for their steady leadership, to our volunteers for their generous service, and to our donors and partners for your change-making support, and to the voters of Pueblo County for passing 6B 6 years ago and entrusting us with this work. Your support has empowered renovations, connected homes to the internet. Think about that. Homes have internet because of the public library and your support. Yay. We've kept families reading during the pandemic and during these difficult times that come upon us. We've defended, most importantly, we've defended the freedom for all to find their place at the public library. So my last message is for you to take pride in the library that you helped preserve and build. Be proud of the Rawlings Library as a downtown anchor. Be proud of the Barkman Library as an emerging hub in its neighborhood, the Lucero Library as an emerging East Side center, and the library branches as centers of learning. We have a library trustee who calls us the fitness centers of Pueblo, the intellectual fitness centers of Pueblo. So we all need to be working out and reading. Be proud that Pueblo's public library remains a place of welcome, learning, and civic courage. Tonight is a celebration of books, community, and a shared belief that public institutions can lift a city. Enjoy the Booklovers Ball, enjoy your conversations, and the possibility that comes when a community invests in knowledge and connection. Join us as we carry this momentum of the last 5 years into the next 5 years. Guided by our strategic plan, energized by community partnership, and committed to keeping the Pueblo City County Library District future ready together. Thank you so much.
So we have just a few things going on. I mean, this is the library after all. We're just this like quiet, calm place, right? Is that kind of what you're used to with the Pueblo Library? We just kind of are meek and we don't really get out there and do things? If anybody says no, just meet me on the balcony. You won't know that I'm coming behind you. Just kidding. All right. First of all, thank you so much, Sherry. Our library district is fortunate to have your leadership. Thank you. You just heard the amazing things that PCCLD does for our community and what we plan to do into the future. If that doesn't inspire you to donate to your local library, just come find me after this. And I'm sure after a few minutes that I can convince you a little bit further. So just find me after this. All right. Thank you so much for your generosity so far. I first want to say that I don't want to be up here just asking for a handout all the time. But I do want to let you know there's still time to bid and to donate. So please keep supporting, keep bidding, keep texting to give to your Pueblo Library this evening. So now for our featured presentation. Each year, the All Pueblo Reads Committee selects a book that will prompt meaningful conversation and bring new voices into our community's shared reading. For All Pueblo Reads 2025, we are so honored to feature The Violin Conspiracy by Mr. Brendan Slocum. This powerful novel explores music, race, family, perseverance, and resilience in a way that has resonated with readers nationwide. And if you didn't want to smack the mom, were you really reading the right book? It is my distinct pleasure to introduce our speaker of honor. Brendan Slocum is an acclaimed novelist whose storytelling brings heart, rigor, and rhythm to every page. Tonight, he will share the insights and inspirations behind The Violin Conspiracy and the voices that shaped its story. Brendan Slocum was born in Yuba City, California, and raised in Fayetteville, North Carolina, where his journey with music began at the age of 9 through a public school violin program. That violin didn't just become an instrument. It became a lifeline, a voice, and a gateway to a life of purpose and creativity. He went on to earn a degree in music education with concentrations in violin and viola from the University of North Carolina at Greensboro, where he served as concertmaster and principal violinist of the University Symphony Orchestra. For over 2 decades, he has been a dedicated music educator. And when he was in those classrooms, he knows how to deal with teenagers. I was like, man, I feel like I smell like BO and puberty. And I was watching him up there just cascade through everybody. Brendan has been a dedicated music teacher, teaching students from kindergarten through high school and performing with orchestras across the Mid-Atlantic. He is also a Nobel Teacher of Distinction, a Teacher of the Year honoree, and an educational consultant for the Kennedy Center. But Brendan's talents extend far beyond the classroom and the concert hall. He is the acclaimed author of 3 powerful novels: The Violin Conspiracy, printed in 2022, a Good Morning America book club pick, which was also nominated for the Goodreads Choice Awards for Best Mystery and Thriller and Best Debut Novel, and also received an Alex Award in 2023. Symphony of Secrets, published in 2023, a gripping tale of musical theft and hidden genius, nominated for the Libby Awards for Best Mystery in 2025. And his latest release, we have one more, so just hold on a second. The Dark Maestro, printed and published in 2025, a thrilling story of music, danger, and redemption that, in its short time on the bookshelves, has already captivated readers and critics alike. Brendan Slocum's work brings classical music to life in bold, inclusive, and deeply human ways. His stories center on underrepresented voices and explore how music can be a force for justice, healing, and transformation. Please give me a warm Pueblo welcome to author, educator, and musician, the man who is changing the face of classical fiction, Mr. Brendan Slocum.
so everybody who's in their seats facing the wrong way, just kind of turn your shirt. No, like turn your shirts around. You don't have to. Isn't that better? Hi, everybody. My name is Brendan Slocum. I hate that I don't have a specific amount of time to talk to you guys tonight because I feel like I'm amongst friends. My time here and say what my time here has been fantastic. And you guys, and it's because you guys are easily distracted. One word. Genuine. And those are my kinds of people. I've been yes, an author for since 2020, and I've met some incredible people, some like big names in the literary world, and yeah, I can't believe that I'm actually mingling with them and talking with them, but one thing that they're a little bit into what they do, whereas I'm just like, hey, happy to be here. So I want to thank you guys for making me feel so welcome. And where's Nick? Thanks, Nick, for introducing me to that burger place where those French fries are the best thing I can get. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about, I'm going to tell you a lot about the book, and then I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself, and then I'm going to talk to you guys about something that's extremely important to me, and that is I want you to remember the word gratitude. What's the word we got to remember? Awesome. It's a big crowd tonight. Maybe you guys need another break. Everybody raise your glasses right now, please. And I want you all to contribute to yourselves for being here and for living in a fantastic city with a fantastic library system that really does care. All right, so Violent Conspiracy. I wrote that book in the summer of 2020. How many of you remember 2020? There's a lot going on in 2020. So, with me personally being a violinist, as Nick mentioned, that guy sounded way cooler than I am. In that intro, he mentioned that I'm a professional violinist and I played in several major symphonies across North Carolina, Virginia, DC, Maryland. So I was working, I was playing all the time. Besides concerts, I was actually playing at the wedding reception when we got the news that the next 3 gigs had been canceled. The moment of uncertainty just lasted forever. We just did not know during COVID. So that's how I was paying my bills. This is going to be interesting. We'll see how this works. So when the government money came out, I took full advantage of it. They paid my bills through December. But, then December came and December was about to leave and I had no money, no prospects for making money. I didn't want to be on unemployment or assistance or anything because I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to be homeless. So I was getting way ahead of that. Those were my thoughts in July. So I am kind of, thinking ahead, just how am I going to fix this? How am I going to fix this? And in the meantime, I was sitting on the couch, getting fatter and fatter. If there is another pandemic, get some stock. Buy stock and snacks. You would have made a fortune just off of me. Seriously, like Doritos, I'm telling you. So I was flipping through the internet and I saw an advertisement for selling books in the age of COVID. I wrote a book like 20 years ago. It was a sci-fi novel, the best sci-fi novel you will never read. So I submitted it. And the agent who read it emailed me back immediately. Something tells me he only read the first 3 or 4 chapters because I needed his responses quick. That's what I did. He wrote me back and said, "This novel is terrible." but you got a good voice. You should write what you know. And that's not sci-fi. I took that as a challenge. I don't use it. So I wrote the first chapter of Violent Conspiracy, which was Ray sitting in his high school classroom. Sent it. The next day, he read it. He emailed me back immediately. Why did you send this the first time? I said, because I just wrote it. It's like, is this a book? It's like, no, it could be. I said, I'm not even kidding. He said, if you write it. So I wrote every day. My author friends hate when I tell this story. I wrote every day for 2 months. This book done. I wrote it in 2 months. You're supposed to be impressed because you wrote a book in 2 months. Because normally it takes a long time. People that have been writing the same paragraph for 50 years. I've had them all. So I wrote this book. I'm like, all right, cool. I asked my agent, absolutely nothing. Cool. If you guys are familiar with the publisher Simon & Schuster, well, screw them because they passed away. So the very next week, I had a Zoom call with the president, vice president, the head of marketing, the head of publicity, every other head, everything at Penguin Red House. Very cool. It was a Zoom call, so I'm sitting in my half kitchen that won't be mine for much longer because I'm having more money in DC. My agent told me to put on a Zoom shirt. It's like, what's a Zoom shirt? It's like something that doesn't clash with that yellow you painted your kitchen. All right, so naturally, I picked a black shirt, of course. So I put on my Zoom shirt. He texted me. He said, "Don't say a word. All right, just sit there, respond." We're talking. They're saying a bunch of stuff that I don't know anything about. But then I heard we are starting a brand imprint called Anchor Books, and we want your book to be the flagship novel of our new imprint. All I heard was a book, and I'm like, my agent texted me again, don't say. So after the Zoom call was done, he texted me, actually called me. He said, "You did it." I said, "What did I do?" He said, "You just got a 2-book deal." And my first reaction was, shit, I got paid. Really? So, Violent Conspiracy. It's a story of a young man named Ray who discovers, young man named Ray who discovers that his old family fiddle is actually a priceless Stradivarius violin, which catapults him into superstardom in the world of classical music. And right before the most prestigious competition in the world of classical music, the Olympics of classical music, is violin is stolen. Will he compete? Will he win? You gotta read his heart. Some of you have not, so you were warned. So I sell this book and I write this story and it comes out and I'm like, I have no idea what this is. I'm a violinist. I don't want to read a book about violins. Who's going to buy this book? I just knew that I had something because it was written from the heart. When I was 9 years old, I started playing the violin, and from that very first day, I had something in my head just clicked and said, make sure you keep all of this stuff close to you because then you're going to need it later. I had no idea. Since I was 9 years old, I knew. Had I not written it in 2020, I would have probably gotten around to it maybe 2026. But I was definitely going to write this story at some point in my life. You hear the stuff that I've gone through, you guys are going to believe it here. So, we're going through and the book is doing well, and I'm kind of like, okay, I have zero expectations. I make a mistake. I'm reading the first Goodreads review. They loved it. I'm like, yeah. And I read the second one. They hated it. Oh. Okay. I just wanted one person to like the book. Mission accomplished. That's all I wanted. I did not write this story to spread a social justice message. I did not write this story to bring awareness to anyone or anything. I wrote this story because it has been sitting inside of me for most years. That's why I wrote the story. When I published this book, other musicians who looked like me actually wrote me and said, "Thank you so much for saying that happened to you, because that same thing happened to me." Okay. So I knew that I was not alone. For years, the things that would happen, the things that people would say to me, the situations that I found myself in, no one believed me when I told them. I would tell my best friend, my absolute best friend, my blood brother, I would tell him. And he would brush me off. You misunderstood. It wasn't the way that you did it. No, it was something else. It's probably something you did. Anyway, that's just what I know conspiracy. So we have like the characters in that story. One of my favorites is Mom. Who's with me on Mom? No, for this first question to know is no, Mom was not my mom. Why is Mom so mean? Well, you have to understand. It was either she was protecting her son the only way she knew how, because she'd never seen anyone who looked like him be successful in a career that he was trying to pursue. Maybe that was her way of protecting him to discourage him. Or maybe she just wanted him TV. I don't know. But in my household, you have to understand it was in the 80s. And even today, it's probably not as common that kids who look like me want to go and play violin. Just do. Well, a lot of parents really don't know how to support their kids. What am I supposed to do? They don't realize that it's a huge investment. And if your kid is invested in something, either 100% full force or just not at all. A lot of parents didn't really understand that, there were going to be, you have to pay for this, you have to pay for this. I needed a certain attire, I needed certain equipment, travel places, people just aren't aware of it. So when I started playing, I didn't start playing because I was one of those people who really wanted to just scratch a musical itch. I was 9 years old, I was failing math. I went to school because I missed math twice a week. That's why I started playing because I got out of class twice a week. It was not for love of music, though. A couple of friends of mine said, "Oh yeah, we're going to do it too. We're going to do the string program," and then they backed out, and I was like, "Well," so I went to go to class. My teacher saw that I was catching on quickly and threw a book. I wanted to play a song the very first day. I'm like, "Yes, I should know this." So going on, I played through 5th grade. I played through 6th grade. First solo in 6th grade, and every time I would come to visit my mom in North Carolina, she would ask me to play that song. And I'm like, "Mom, do you realize I was 10? That was 40 years ago. How do you expect me to?" But of course I played. Just a nerve. No, so going on and kind of doing my thing, and I'm enjoying it. So 7th grade comes along, 8th grade comes along. I still hate math. And I'm failing my math class. And my teacher, who was my junior high school teacher, was also she started me, and she pulled me aside one day and said, "Brendan, I understand that you have this cowboy." Yes, of course. She's like, "Well, she may be, but she tells me you're not doing good work and you're not passing class." I was like, "Well, do you know how mean she is? She may be mean, but you still have to do your work." And then she told me, she said, "Oh, if I don't hear from this cowboy, you're going to, as you approve it, I'm not going to let you play violin anymore." And all it took. That was all it took. I was a model student. I studied. I did my homework. I asked questions in class. I was like, it's not hard to be smart. Why haven't I been doing this? So prior to that, way before that, before I could pick that up, I lived in a very, 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 very rough neighborhood. I lived in a bad neighborhood. I was the bad kid. I was surrounded by bad kids. My older brother and I, we were all bad kids together. We would break into people's places when they weren't there, unarmed. I think it's different. We would vandalize stuff. Which window can we break today? You know, we would graffiti stuff. Oh, you found a kid's spray paint? No, I have some markers. You know, we were kind of cheap. We didn't have enough these old markers. Just all the time, getting in trouble until I started playing by it. It kept me out of trouble. Instead of running around, you know, seeing what mischief we could get into, I was practicing for a concert, or I was, you know, practicing learning something. First time I ever asked why was because of my violin. First time I ever went out of the country was because of my violin. When I was in 11th grade, 12th grade, I won a competition, a local competition that allowed me to compete in a national competition. First time I ever got to fly. Flew to Michigan to perform in front of a whole bunch of people, and there was only one other violist there. And it was the greatest things around. So going on through high school, my teacher, my orchestra director, she said to me, what are you going to do after high school, after graduation? I said, I'd probably take a nap. It was at 4, so she's like, no, like, what career-wise, what do you think that you're going to do? I maybe I'm going to go to work, maybe I'll join the military, which I really don't want to. Yeah, I don't know. She said, I think you should audition at UNC Greensboro to do music education. I said, what's that? She said, that's what I do. And I said, well, I like music and I like you, so okay. So I'm going on and keeping on, and I'm really into the life. And I play church gigs and weddings, and just played the Messiah a million times too. I was making money, I was saving money, and I bought a new violin. I bought a 1953 Eugene Lehman violin. Well, no, we just read this. That should have rung a bell to some of you readers. That's the violin that Brady played on for the competition. I read the book. No. I really did finish it. So I had this nice violin. I'm like, all right. So she drove me to Greensboro, North Carolina, 2 hours away, so I can audition. Okay. So the cello professor was listening to me. He's actually a good friend of mine to this day. He's president of University of Virginia right now. Dr. Ron, he's a great guy. So I played, first piece I played, he stopped me and he said, who's your private teacher? I said, I don't have one. He's like, you just played that and you don't have a teacher. I was like, yeah. All right, yeah. When I finished playing, I played the other piece, which actually was Rosa Nidra, which is Grandma Nora's favorite piece. I played that. That was my second piece that I played, and I was convinced that I'm not going to get in, that nothing was going to work out, so I was staring out the window. This dude is some shit walking down the sidewalk. I don't know what they were doing, but I was all into it. That's what I was doing. I was so disconnected because I just knew that I was. So I get home. Well, my teacher asks me how it goes. So I get home. A couple hours later, I get a phone call. Message from the city. This is Dr. Crutch. Hello, Dr. Crutch. I'd like to congratulate you and welcome you to the School of Music, and we'd like to offer you something. Oh. Then that was it. I was going to see you in what? August. It was great. And then I realized I'm about to have zero intention. Okay, it's great. Yeah, school. So right before I went to school, right before my graduation, do you ever had your house broken into? You know the second you walk into something wrong. I walked in, I didn't pay any attention to the stuff that was thrown all over everywhere. The TV that wasn't there, the radio that wasn't there, didn't pay any attention. I went straight to my room, to my hiding spot, my violin, which was under my bed. I looked, it wasn't there. I looked again, it wasn't there. Then I walked out of the room and walked back in, and I looked again, because of course that's where my violin is. It wasn't there. I was devastated. If you ever find or hear of anyone playing in a 1953 Eugene Lincoln, I won't press charges. Just tell them I love it. So I didn't know what I was going to do. I was like, well, I guess instrument, a T-shirt. Told a couple of friends of hers, you know, they have a 100-year-old violin in their family that they stored in an alligator skin case. They told her to tell me we're welcome to borrow the instrument for the next 4 years until I graduate, and I just have to return it. So that kindness and generosity from people who had no idea who I was. My gratitude level rose immediately. Remember that word? So going on in my graduate school, my very first private lesson with a private teacher was Sir Trevor Williams. I didn't get it. How's that mistake? Sir Trevor Williams. Yeah, the fullest strawberries, all of it. Sir Trevor Williams was knighted by Queen Elizabeth. He was a concertmaster for the BBC Symphony Orchestra. He was my first private teacher. During one of my lessons where I played Bach, he might have a concerto, which I probably won't ever again. Sir Trevor Williams. I'm playing the second movement, and I played a B rather than a B flat. Sir Trevor Williams grabs my hands and he says, "Brendan, Bach would never write a major fifth. What are you doing?" And me being the freshman that I am, I was like, "Dude, I don't even know what a major third is yet." And he was all, "Brendan, your hands are too large to ever play violin in tune. I can't teach you." He recommended that I quit. And I did. That was it for violin lessons for me after, wasn't even a full semester. So I continued to play in the orchestra. I was like, well, I'm here for a year, so I may as well just kind of hang out. Sir Trevor Williams did not last too terribly long, as you can imagine. And we had auditions for a new teacher. Like Ray's teacher in the story, Dr. Janice Stevens, my teacher, she comes in, I never forget this. She comes in, she plays a piece called Zagan by Maurice Ravel. I'd never heard the piece before. I'd never seen anyone play as incredibly as she had. My mind was blown. I was like, wow. I said, but I'm not even taking lessons. What am I going to do? So she ended up getting the job. And I said to her, I was just kind of there because I wanted to be a Klingon. I was there, and I said to her, "Sir Trevor Williams, who your predecessor, told me that I could never play in tune because my hands are so big." And she was like, "Brendan, that is," you can feel it in the blanket. He stopped Perlman's hands are twice the size of yours because So, her name is Dr. Rochelle Edgar Wong, and she taught me everything that I know. Everything that I know. She teaches me how to play violin, and she taught me how to teach. So everything that I do is based on what I learned from her. I haven't seen her or spoken to her in 27 years. When she was my teacher, I used to babysit her son. I would, I'm walking around campus, he's on my back, we're just the best of friends, and then she tells me in my next lesson, "Brendan, what did you say to him? He's coming home talking about training beer." No, that must have been your other. I talked to her via email. I sent her a copy of manuscripts. I said, "I wanted you to be the first person to read this because I want to show you how grateful I am to you for everything that you did. You believed in me. You pushed me when I wanted to quit. You did not allow me to throw my career away because of something someone else had said." So I sent her the manuscript. She actually wrote me back. She said, "Brendan, I was only going to read for half an hour." And 3 hours later, I was amazed that you remember those conversations we had. You remember those lessons we had. You remember what I played. You remember that I was a boxer. I'm like, why would I forget? You taught me, the reason I'm here doing this is because of you. So I wanted to thank you. So I wrote the character of Dr. Ned Stevens after her, and she approved. Limited time. So I do appreciate the applause. So going on, college is fun and I'm playing, doing all this stuff. And some of the instances of discrimination that we encounters during the violent conspiracy are actually from my life, which are great experiences. How much of Ray is you, Brendan? Great question. 92% of Ray is based on my life. 92%. The only 8% that is not me is Ray plays jazz. I can't play jazz. Okay, so I live vicariously through them. And Ray made it to the Tchaikovsky competition. I started at age 9. I was a senior citizen compared to what I could have done. And one of my, I still, for the longest time, I couldn't figure out if this was a compliment or not, but I'm going to take it as a compliment. The trumpet professor at UNC, he was a bastard, but he could play and his students could play. And everybody was intimidated by this guy. He was like this tall. He was Canadian, so he was just kind of, but he was, so any Canadians in the house? Yeah, you guys are cool. He came up to me after a performance I did. I played. He came up to me after performance, and this guy, he's super intimidating. So he comes up to me, and I'm just kind of backing up. He's like, what did I do? And I'm like, this guy. He comes up to me and he says, I gotta tell you, that performance you just did was incredible. If someone gave a shit about you when you were a kid, you would be playing in a major symphony right now. And me and that guy were like this. So throughout the time that I have, just done my thing as a musician, I have encountered some of the craziest things that people, they don't believe me when I tell them this stuff. I was actually guest conducting one time, and they only saw my name. Apparently, Brendan Slocum doesn't look like a typical dude's name, I guess. Does anybody else know Brendan? Okay. So I go into this space to get out to the orchestra. I walked in. One of the teachers there looked at me, and she said, "The garbage is over there to be taken." Yes. So I smiled and I looked at her and I said, "I will tell the custodian when you arrive that I'm here to conduct the orchestra." She pretty much ignored me after that. And so I reached out and said, no, I need you up. It took me 5 kids before I could get an instrument, before I could play. So I played. Oh, this guy's legit. Okay, he's real. Why? That wasn't even necessary. Okay, so I kind of put it down. People ask me, does it make you mad? Do you get angry when these things happen? Of course, sure you do. It's just how I choose to react to these situations. And you will notice, those of you that have read the Bible, you will notice that in my books, you will notice that there's always going to be a theme of hope. I always want there to be a theme of hope because I have read and watched so many movies of people who look like me, and the slavery and the oppression and the this and the that, and you're a victim and you can't do this. I'm done with all that stuff because it's not true. I am not a victim. I refuse to be a victim. I want people who look like me and people who don't look like me to understand that it doesn't matter. We all show biases all the time. All the time. Sometimes we are aware, sometimes we aren't. I want people to gain from these stories. I want people to look at the person and really see them for who they are. Not for their skin color, not for their haircut, not for their accent, not for their zip code, not for their bank account, none of that stuff, but for the person that they are. And the only way to do that is to really see them. And that means that you're gonna have to drop everything that you put up and over in order to really see that person. I used to be so judgmental. I could tell everything about everybody just by a glance. And then I realized I'm turning into the thing that I hate. People do that to me all the time. Why am I doing that? Why do I do that anymore? That's not good. Going on, okay, so my life has been full of craziness, like in the story. Do you remember the wedding scene? That was real. It was the first time I really saw hatred in someone's eyes. And wherever that guy is now, he was the dad, not the uncle, as in the story. Wherever he is, I hope he's changed his ways. So for his sake, I really hope he is. The instances where people just don't understand why it is that you're doing what you're doing. People have looked at me and said, why are you doing that? You should do something that you're going to be good at. You should do something that you can actually find success in. This is not for you. I've been told that so many times. I've gone places to play. Now, I've gone places to play and people take one look and they know he's not that good of a player. So I'm going to have to put somebody with him to help him. That has happened to me walking into places to play the Messiah of all things. And I've played since I was a teenager. So someone sits next to me, usually white and not as experienced as I am, and I need help with them. I get to do this. You don't have to before you were born. But it's just a thing that happens. And I'd love to get to the point. I don't have a Messiah complex or anything, but I'd love to get to the point where I will take the hits for everything so that the next person that looks like me that wants to do something doesn't have to. It will be normalized. This is an everyday thing because music is for everybody. It's not just for special people. Well, you do have to be kind of special to be a musician. How many musicians are out here? Yeah, you guys are real special. I mean it from the bottom of my heart. You know what else is special? Librarians were. When I was a kid, I asked my mom, I was like, when I was an adult, I asked her for me being a kid. I said, Mom, was it me or did we go to the library? She said, we went every weekend. It was the best free activity we could do as a family. Like, oh, we would always come out with a stack of books. We could not turn them back in until we told them. She was instilling a love of literacy in us, and not even, well, we didn't know it. She probably did, which is stuck with me for even today, and I appreciate my mom. Gratitude is so important for so many reasons. One, I would not be standing on the stage with you all right now were it not for the kindness of so many people. And I'm not saying that in a condescending way, or I don't want to belittle the fact that people show kindness, because I think it's one of the most important things that we can do. It's just to be kind to each other. One reason I love this town so much is every single person that I've interacted with since I've been here. Every single person has been very kind, very engaging, just the nicest people. I didn't think they existed. And you guys are just incredible. So gratitude is so incredibly important to me because I truly would not be here. I'm supposed to die twice. Hey, you guys do this like this. I'm supposed to die twice. That's good. The first time it was in 2016, I'm sorry. I was actually, you might not be able to tell from what I look like right now, but I was actually in training for a bodybuilding competition. I was 200 pounds of solid muscle, 2% body fat. Oh, yeah. And I was going to compete in like one of those old men competition things. I was like, then I got sick I was eating right, I was exercising, going to the gym every day, doing my cardio and doing my lifting. And I just felt like I couldn't breathe. A lot of my piano students had bronchitis. I got bronchitis. I'll take some, antibiotics. Of course, being a typical man, I'm not going to the doctor. So I got thicker and thicker while they all got what's going on. I didn't know. So I still didn't go to the doctor. I ended up going on a trip out of when I went to Hawaii. I figured that the weather and the atmosphere would make me feel better. I couldn't even run across the beach. This sucks. So I got home the night of January 15th, 2016. I woke up. I apologized for eating. I woke up and I threw up for the first time since college. Like I was sick. I never threw up. I don't know what's going on. So I called my friend. Said, "Dude, take me to the hospital." He takes me to the doctor. Doctor looks at me and says, he examines me. He's like, "You don't have any diseases or anything. You're straight there. You need to get to the ER right now. Your blood pressure is 260 over 200. It's like, I don't even know how you made it in here. And I said, well, I did have to stop. I was up across the street. He's like, yeah, I do. I'm like, look, he said, if you try to go home, you're going to die. Go to the ER now and tell them blah, blah, blah. Cool. The friend went to the ER, Sibley Hospital in Maryland, and they admitted me. I don't know what the doctor said. They take me straight to ICU. No one would tell me that. You were this close to having a massive heart attack. Okay, and everyone who came by did a double take on my chart. They were like, I see this, but I'm seeing you, and it just doesn't go together. I'm like, what's going on? So during that, I was in ICU for a week before they could finally stabilize me. During that time, my heart expanded 3 times as much as it was supposed to be, and my kidneys were about done. So at the end of me being stabilized, they told me, you are one of the most unlucky people on the planet. This condition happens to 1 in 9 million people. He said, you don't smoke, you don't drink, you're in shape. That's what's it. I said, well, I'm glad I don't smoke and I don't drink, but I think there was something else. It's more and it gets better.
Is that possible?
Yes. So I am recovering. He told me that I was going to be as weak as a kid for a long time. Such a high level for so long. He was our kid. I lost a ton of weight. I lost all my muscle. I couldn't even get from my bed to the bathroom without falling. And that went on for close to a year. I was miserable. Fortunately, I had friends, I had former students who were willing to, what do you need for me to do? Do you need to take out your garbage? Do your laundry? Whatever. I couldn't even do it. And I got a ton of help, and I was so grateful. Going on, my best friend that nursed me back to health said, what do you want to do to celebrate? A year later, I said, let's go to Italy. We're going to Italy, take a trip to Italy. Fantastic. Almost a year to the day of my recovery, he died. I was a broken man, completely broken. I didn't want to play. I didn't talk to him. And he died actually the day of the show. I was playing the show. I was the only person violin playing his part. And I couldn't even drive to. I couldn't do anything. I had to get myself together. I said, he actually wanted me to play this. He would tell me to go and play. And I played. I was crying through the whole thing, but I made it through. So I'm getting myself together, I'm healing, I'm getting better. During that whole episode, my kidneys were damaged severely. So my nephrologist told me, she said, yeah, your kidneys are jacked up and you're going to need transplant. So my goal is to mitigate for as long as possible. So like, all right, cool. How does that? Months? She's like, no, we're going years. She said, if you go on a plant-based diet, you will not have to do dialysis. I went vegan that day. I threw all my meat, cheese, eggs, butter, all that stuff. And it was so hard to grocery shop because everything got milk in it. potato chips have milk in it. You know that? It does. The barbecue wants to. So I've doing the whole vegan thing for 8 years. I'm off the houses. And I wrote 2 books. I got my business going. I was teaching a ton of lessons. I was trying to work on conspiracy, everything during that later part of that time. And then I got really sick. It's like I started throwing up 3 times a day. Time for all this? Yeah, it's time. What are you gonna do? Don't eat. All right, cool. So getting worse and worse and worse is the time. It's right during the period that I'm writing my 3rd novel, The Darkness, which is out there, by the way. I'm writing the 3rd novel. I did not think that I was going to be able to finish it. It was really, really bad. Really bad. My best friend, since we were 19 years old, we met in college. I was in room 318, he was in room 302. I had just played an orchestra concert. He needed a tuxedo for his band concert. Hey, Brendan's down the hall. I think he's about your size. Didn't know him from Adam. He knocked on my door. Hey, you don't know me. Do you have a tuxedo? Yeah, you bring it. And sure enough, he did. And we've been like this ever since. He said, what do I do? I said, I'm not asking you. He said, what do I do? He got tested. You're 98% match. Finishing the story. All right. So we have a transplant son, and he's of Scottish descent. And I discovered that, when you have an organ transplant, it's customary to name your new organ. Did you know that they don't take the old kidneys out? I didn't know. I got 3. Only 2 of them worked though. So, him being of Scottish descent, I named my new kidney my right. And sometimes it's been known to you would wake up, like when you come out of the anesthesia, you wake up like with an accent of a person that's like, you come out with a Scottish accent. I couldn't pull it off. I couldn't learn it. I was way too groggy for this. Really good. So I'm grateful to him because of a chance meeting that we had, or in a tuxedo, he saved my life. I asked him why he did it. He said 2 things. 1, if it were me, I know he would do it. And then he said, I can't imagine a world without it. But I love him. He is actually my brother. I'm like a 10% white now. I was about to say something so raunchy. Oh my God. Will I get in trouble? Seriously, will I get in trouble? You're not going to call my publicist to be like, guess what he said? Are we sure? Okay, let's go through that scene again. All right. So I'm like 10% white now. Thankfully, it's above the waist. It was nice being a writer for a while. That's fun. Good. I didn't say it. Anyway, so I'm extremely grateful to him for that. The reason I'm standing here with you guys tonight is because so many people have dedicated so much of their time and energy into me, into seeing me be successful, into seeing someone that they did not know. From my first teacher who pushed me, to my high school teacher who pushed me to go to college, to my violin teacher who encouraged me to keep going, to my friends and family who continue to support me regardless of what it is that I do, to my friends that help me when I'm sick, to my friends that help me when I need money because I'm not working, the same friend, I'm going to tell you guys, the same friend, I was going to sell my violin because I couldn't pay my rent because I couldn't work. He started a GoFundMe page that paid my rent for 6 months. So I'm so grateful. I'm so incredibly grateful. But most of my gratitude goes to one person, and that is my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Because when I wanted to stop taking my medication and just die, he said, no, you have faith. I brought you this far. When I was just convinced that I was going to be out in the street, he was like, no, I'm going to make sure you're okay. All I want for you to do is to be a good person and do whatever you can. I think that I'm doing God's work. I feel like I'm doing God's work right now. I feel like I'm doing God's work through the 25 years that I've been a teacher. I still talk to those kids to this day. Some of them are my best friends. I've gone to concerts with them. I've seen them birth their children. I've seen some of them become grandparents. And I love them because they love me for some reason. And knowing that they are good people, and I have that much to do with it, makes me so incredibly proud. But the thing that makes me the most proud is hear them say me. And it's a feeling that I will never cherish for the rest of my life, forever. I am here because God said, you're not done. I could tell you, you're not done yet. You got more stuff to do. So I want you guys to understand that gratitude is one of the most powerful tools on the planet. And I call it a tool because it can do something to help you get somewhere that you want to be. All it takes is that one smile for someone, that one compliment for someone, holding the door for someone, sharing a book with someone, talking to someone face to face rather than over a screen. I'm so grateful I actually got a thank you tattooed on my forearm so I can be reminded daily how grateful I am for everything and everyone. I'm incredibly grateful to you guys for supporting me, for supporting stories like this, for opening your hearts and your minds to be able to see the story that most of you have zero perspective. But you opened up yourself, you opened it. I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for everything that you guys do for each other because it is powerful. And this is a type of community. And we're sorely missing that in the world today. So I'm grateful to you guys. Thank you so much for supporting me. Thank you for supporting my stories. I have 2 other books out. And they're both dope for real. No, well, actually, the Boston Globe, I forgot who the guy was who he did a review on my book, my second book. He called me Maestro Musical Mystery. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to run with it. I'm going to be the Stephen King of musical books. That is my goal. I've got a million ideas for books in my head. 19 chapters into my 4th book right now. Hoping to be done in November. So maybe at some point, no pressure. I'll be able to come back at some point and see you guys again and talk again and all that stuff. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for supporting everyone in the Yeah, last thing is one right. Last thing. Gotta make sure you got a strong sock game.
All right, we have time for a few questions. We were submitted about 35 to 40 questions. So we're going to do the camera. All right, so we can get through some of these. We're going to do a lightning round. So now that I've hydrated you, there's a reason that I hydrated you. All right, first question. Does a trad really sound better?
Yes.
Do you have more than one favorite violin?
No.
And what about an instrument makes any instrument your favorite sport?
I think the instrument my favorite would be the music that's composed for things, showing these persons something to do. Some instruments automatically bring you happiness. Some instruments make you sad when you're just a versatility.
If you could perform one piece in any concert hall in the world, what piece would it be and why?
I would play the Sagan by Maurice Ravel.
Mr. Blackburn? That's Lady First.
This is Lady Ravel.
Nice all day long. How do you handle the technical parts about playing the violin so that non-musical people can still follow and care?
It is 15 seconds. My first iteration of story, everything musical elements, all technical things make perfect sense to me, to my friends who are musicians. I let non-musicians read it, and I don't know what the English is. They might even ask me, how do you feel when you play? I said, no, I'm just not that.
All right. Because this book was so damn good, I want to know, is there any plan for a movie?
Yes, Grandma Laura was my good grandmother. I just had a meeting last week with a couple of producers, one in LA, one in Baltimore, and we're about to sign an option contract. So hopefully.
So you alluded to this a little bit. Can you give us a clue about your next book?
Geez, my next book. See, the people who haven't read my second one, or my third one, I should talk about my fourth one. Yeah. I can't say anything because my agent is rocky. I like eating.
And you have read enough that we bring you that in 2027.
All I can say is based on a true story and it's good.
Okay. So for a fee, if we throw in the price from Eagle Burger, can we be able to you?
I'll do it strictly for the price. We're just.
So you kind of talked about this a bit, but Ray and his grandmother shared such a deep and special bond. Were you excited to write this book based on your own faith?
Oh, absolutely. When I was researching, I called my aunts and uncles and I asked them about the book. They all had the exact same thing. She never had an unkind word to say to anyone. She was the sweetest one on the planet, consistent across the board. And I wanted to share her.
All right, last three questions. What was the hardest scene to write and why did it stay with you?
The hardest scene probably for me to write was the scene where Ray was in Boston and he had to prove that he was actually a violinist. He had to prove that he had this case and it wasn't stolen and it was just, he should not have to do that. Never should have to do just based on appearance. But that stuck a little bit. Yeah. Okay, we're good now.
How do you balance leaving clues for the reader and leaving the mystery unsolved?
I balance that by writing like I'm watching a movie. I really want to be entertained throughout. I was like playing a musical score. You start with an introduction, and an overture, and a development, and then a climax, and then a conclusion. I just want to flow naturally. To me, that is natural.
I think a lot of people said that they lost how fast the long. They started the book and then they just blinked and they were at chapter 8.
Who wants to read one verse like slow, fast, slow? Let's do that. Who wants to watch a crappy movie where it's like slow all the way through? If a good movie but it's like a little slow, who wants to do that? I want to, so I want to.
All right, last question.
Oh, very good.
How did you intend for the readers to feel about Ray by the end of the story? And did you ever worry about losing the reader's sympathy with the character?
I never thought about anyone losing sympathy with Ray. knew he was someone that you couldn't help but pushback because people were like, I can't say it because y'all have that. Yes, no, you're talking that's not his point. Maybe I'm sure. The fact that Ray goes to the competition and plays third place, people were angry. And I said, you know what, he was the biggest winner in that group. He made it from nothing, representing the United States, biggest stage in the world. Winning out with it. And what was that brother? Oh,
I was trying to do like a David Letterman. And did you ever worry about losing the leader seat? So you reversed on me? Oh, how did you intend for the readers to feel about Ray in this? That character.
I wanted people to see Ray's growth. I wanted them to see that he started off as this totally naive kid who really didn't understand the world and didn't understand what was possible, both good and outside being outside of his little town. And I wanted them to see his growth and him not being so naive about everything and learning about people, learning who to trust and why it's okay to do certain things. And it's okay for you to take care of yourself and do what it is that you love because you love it. Because it's your life, you're the one to live it. And it's just, I hope people follow his growth and appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Right, everyone. Can we give Brendan Slocum one more huge round of applause? All right, so Anne over here in the dark corner will take you, the dark maestro in the dark corner, she will take you to our book signing area. So, yeah, just leave a live mic on and walk around. There's never anything bad that's happened with that. Thank you so much, Brendan, for your engaging presentation. At this time, we've already read a few comments, and so what we are going to do is let Brendan have time to go over to the book signing area. If you'd like to hear more from Brendan, I just want to remind everyone that we have a public author talk tomorrow at 11 o'clock here at the Rawlings Library. So if you enjoyed today, invite your friends, your family, your book club. I think we have something like 19 book clubs already reserved to show up. Invite your mom, invite anybody. We'd love to have you. We will have mocktails, we have charcuterie. It'll be a great time for us to be able to have more conversation and a chance to connect afterwards. I want to remind everyone the silent auction closes in 10 minutes. This is a perfect moment to place the last minute bids. The bar will also close in about 10 to 15 minutes, so please have time to grab one more drink. Before we close, and this is important, a huge thank you to the community relations team and all of the staff behind making tonight possible. I want to point out Ann Boyden, Amanda Daly, who made so much of this by hand, including the centerpieces, Dave Hayden, Gloria Madrill, Michelle Behill, and even though she is on maternity leave, a huge thank you goes out to Sarah Schwartz. Thank you. All right, we will begin the book signing and the photos shortly. The signing line will form just in front of the elevators, and staff will be there to assist and guide you in the line. Books will be available for purchase also outside of the room by CSU Pueblo's bookstore. So if you leave the room, you go to your left, they're in between the bathrooms and the main door. This concludes our evening, and we look forward to seeing you all at the 2026 Book Lovers Ball. Thank you for coming to support the Pueblo City County Library District. I hope that you all have a wonderful night, and we will see you all at the library. Thank you. Thanks.